Some nights, darkness is not merely the absence of light. It is a breathing, thinking, patient, and living entity. It doesn't just fill the space, it claims it. It waits patiently in the far. This story isn't mine. In truth, it isn't entirely yours either. It is the story of a collective nightmare we all share, an ancient anxiety etched into our genetic code over thousands of years, like memories stained into the walls of old, timber-framed houses, destined to be forgotten but never truly leaving. What I am about to tell you, right now, at this very second. Can you hear that faint, indistinct creak coming from beneath the wooden floorboards under your bed, or perhaps from inside the wall? Is that just the house settling? Physicists call it thermal contraction, but you, with your primal instinct, know better. You know that sound is the signature of a weight, an invisible, dense mass, slowly shifting its stance. That mass, the air has suddenly turned cold, hasn't it? Regardless of the season, feel that sudden drop in temperature in your room. That scent? It's faint, but it's there. The smell of an old, damp attic mixed with dried lavender flowers, brittle book pages, and perhaps the faint, acrid smell of a snuffed-out candle. It drifts past, lingering on your neck like the cold breath of the past. The hair on your arms stands up. This is your body's primitive signal. Be careful, your cells are whispering. You are not alone. But your eyelids, they are so heavy. It feels as if lead has been poured over them. They are surrendering to gravity, to the sweet and dangerous weight of the night. Let them close. Because if you were to see some things with your physical eyes, your mind might not be able to comprehend the geometry of them. The old ones, the elders of forgotten villages long before city lights erased the stars, used to call it the shadow weaver. In some cultures, it was known as the silent guest. In others, the breath thief. Its name was spoken only in hushed whispers. Because if you were to see some things with your physical eyes, your mind might not be able to comprehend the geometry of them. The old ones, the elders of forgotten villages long before city lights erased the stars, used to call it the shadow weaver. In some cultures, it was known as the silent guest. In others, the breath thief. Its name was spoken only in hushed whispers. It has no physical body. It is not made of flesh and bone. Yet it is real enough to change the density of the air in your room, real enough to press down on your chest. It has no eyes. Its face is a bottomless well, yet it sees the secret fears you hide, even from yourself, the terrors you are too ashamed or afraid to acknowledge in the daylight. It has no hands, no fingers, yet it touches the fabric of your dreams. It takes the threads of your mind, twists them, and weaves its own dark pattern, stitch by stitch. While you believe you are safe under your covers, trusting that thin layer of cotton to protect you from all the evils of the world, it stands right beside your pillow, at your bedside. Right there, it leans. Its sustenance is not your momentary fear. That would be too simple. Its true food is the memories you thought you'd forgotten, the ones you've locked away in the sealed rooms of your mind, the ones you've thrown a sheet over. Remember your childhood. Think of that old bedroom, the position of your bed, the angle of the window. At night, the pale orange light of the street lamp would filter in through the gap in the curtains, casting long, distorted shadows of your furniture against the wall. Remember that pile of clothes resting on the chair in the corner. During the day, it is just a sweater, a pair of jeans, maybe a backpack. Harmless. But at night, remember waking up at midnight, throat dry, freezing, feeling that shapeless dark mass looking back at you. Was it really just a pile of clothes? Or was it shifting? Did it have shoulders? Did it lean slightly, ever so slightly, toward you? When morning came, under the safe, sanitizing light of the sun, you told yourself, it was just a coat rack. I was dreaming. You convinced yourself. Your logic, your survival mechanism, kicked in and suppressed the fear. But deep down, you knew. You still know. That was the Shadow Weaver's first touch. It marked you that night. Now, with your adult mind, think back to that moment, freeze frame by freeze frame. Don't you recall how that shadow elongated toward you, inch by inch, gaining volume in a way that defied the laws of physics, searching the void for a face but finding none? That feeling of being frozen in ice, that terror where your blood seemed to turn to slush in your veins, where you wanted to scream but the sound died in your throat. Was that truly just a childhood fantasy? Or was it the first contact of an entity from a different dimension, trying to bleed into your universe? Can you imagine yourself inside this silence, reliving that moment right now? You are in your bed. The pillow is soft, the duvet is warm, but the room feels different. Your heart rate is picking up right now. You cannot control it. Your chest feels tight, as if an invisible heavy hand is pressing down on your lungs. Breathing becomes a labor, but there is a strange, very strange contradiction. While you are afraid, your body wants to surrender to sleep with an overwhelming lead in exhaustion. Keeping your eyes open becomes a war, like lifting tons of weight. This is its influence. This is the Weaver's narcotic. It wants to catch you defenseless. It waits for that precise, fragile moment when consciousness slips, when logic shuts down. Do you know of sleep paralysis? Modern medicine calls it REM atonia. The brain wakes up, the body stays asleep, muscles are locked, hallucinations occur. That is the scientific explanation. But why? Why do you see the same thing every time? Why, across all cultures, from Japan to Brazil, from Turkey to Iceland, do people speak of that dark silhouette sitting on their chest, the Hat Man or the old hag? Are they all seeing the exact same collective dream? Or does our biology, in that moment of lockdown, allow us to pull back the curtain and see reality as it truly is? Perhaps paralysis is not a disorder. Perhaps it is the body's primal play-dead response when it recognizes a predator, a cosmic hunter. What does an animal in the wild do when faced with a predator much stronger than itself? It freezes, it plays dead, it holds its breath. When the Shadow Weaver leans over you, not moving is the only way to survive. Right now, your back is pressing fully into the mattress. Your legs feel heavy, sinking into the bed. Your arms have fallen to your sides. Even moving a finger feels like a monumental effort. It feels as if the bed is absorbing you, swallowing you whole. Have the shadows in the corner of the room started to merge? Be careful. Do not focus your eyes there. Do not look. If it realizes you are looking at it, it will look back. And once you make eye contact, even if it has no eyes, once you connect with that void, your dreams no longer belong to you. They become the threads of its loom. Do not resist, because resisting only makes it more curious. Why isn't it sleeping? Why is it afraid? It asks in its silent tongue. To sleep is to enter its world voluntarily. It is dangerous, but there are rules. But to stay awake, to stare stubbornly into that darkness, that is inviting it into your world, which is more dangerous. It is here now, perhaps not in this room, not in that thin column of darkness where the closet door is slightly ajar, perhaps not under the bed, but it is wandering the corridors of your mind, not inside the house, but inside you. No footsteps, just a draft blowing through your thoughts. It is looking for an open door, a weakness, a sadness, a moment of suppressed anger. Close your eyes. It is merely a reflection of your fears. And fears, no matter how far you run, always return home to their owner when night falls. Now, just listen. Listen to the room, not the sounds of the world outside, that living city. Forget the siren of a distant ambulance, the tires of a passing car, the howl of the wind. They belong to outside. You are inside. Listen to the deep, ancient silence within the house. Can you hear that faint metallic ping coming from the water pipes inside the walls? The groan of the wooden furniture expanding? The absolute silence in the moment the refrigerator motor cuts out? Inside that silence, go one layer deeper, right next to your ear, on your pillow. Is there a cold, metallic, and extremely rhythmic breathing that isn't yours? Very faint, like a whisper. You can only hear if you hold your own breath and erase all other sounds in the world, like the sound of fabric rubbing against fabric. It doesn't say, "I am here." It says, "You are there." Do not let this sound frighten you. This is the sound of surrender. This is the night's way of telling you, struggle no more. The Shadow Weaver is patient. Patience is its only virtue. It waits until you sleep. When you sleep, it begins its work. It rearranges the labyrinths in your dreams. Perhaps tomorrow morning, when you wake up, you will wake with a sadness you cannot explain, or the exhaustion of a nightmare you cannot remember. That is its touch. So, breathe calmly, deep and slow. Close your eyes tight. The only shield you have is not seeing, not knowing. Ignorance is your armor tonight, even if it is beside you. Even if that faceless face is only inches from yours right now and you can feel its cold breath on your cheeks, not knowing is the greatest mercy. Let sleep take you. Let it carry you away from this room, from this truth, from this cold, from these shadows. Let yourself fall into that black, velvet soft void. There, at least, you think you control the dreams. Keep thinking that. Only when morning comes, when the sun rises and everything returns to normal, I want you to check one thing, just one small, insignificant detail. If, when you wake up, you find a single long black hair on your nightstand that should never be there, one that belongs to neither you nor your family, or if you see a second, smaller indentation on your pillow, right next to the hollow your head made, as if someone else had laid their head there, then understand that tonight, the story was not just a story, and it has finished its weaving. But do not think of these things now. Now there is only darkness, and it is watching. For now, it is only watching. Sleep, sleep, sleep.